Ole Miss won this one in Norman, 34-26 on a wet, rainy field. And there were guys sliding around all over the place that looked like they were playing this one on ice. Interestingly, this was Lane Kiffin's first road win over a ranked SEC opponent, which kind of seems crazy. It's been this long without him having accomplished that, but here we are. This one also came amid the rumors that he's the top target at Florida. I got to give Lane Kiffin a lot of credit for the way that he handled this, because we have seen a full spectrum of coaches now talking through whether the rumors are true or not true, ranging from blaming the media to sort of being evasive but complimentary in the form of like whatever Matt Rule was trying for. Lane Kiffin didn't try to run from any of this. He called a meeting. He addressed the team. He told the guys it was due to their success on the field that these rumors persist at all. He didn't deny that there was interest either from his end or from Florida's end, but among the ways that we have seen coaches deal with these types of things, it seemed like the more adult version of a response. And at least initially, it seems as though the response was pretty positive from those who were in the room and those who have had a chance to think about it and analyze what Lane did. I give him a lot of credit for it. Maybe as a result, Lane looked like he was trying a little extra to be the Ole Miss coach today. I don't know if he was trying to overcompensate for some of the stuff that's swirling out there, but there are some weird moves in this game, weren't there? A couple PlayStation decisions that we saw out there. The first one that comes to mind was a sequence in the first half where Trinidad Chambliss drove the field, had a ton of momentum, was playing especially well, got down into the red zone. He gives him the hook. Gives him the hook. Time for Austin Simmons to come in. Let's see what he can do. Austin Simmons is a little bit of a bigger guy. I've seen some speculation. Brooks Austin out online was saying that, well, Trinidad Chambliss passing inside the 5-yard line has had a bunch of tip passes. Austin Simmons, bigger dude, maybe that'll help. Well, Austin Simmons airmailed 2 incompletions. They ended up having to settle for a field goal. Then there was another circumstance in the third quarter, 4th and 1 from their own 25. Lane decides he's going to go for it. Doesn't get it. Turns the ball over to Oklahoma. That could have been a turning point for Oklahoma. Instead, they end up having to settle for 3 points. That actually ended up being more of the story in this game. It was not decisions, thankfully, that Lane Kiffin had to make. It was the fact that Ole Miss came to play with its defense. And they put Oklahoma in a situation where the Sooners could not convert on some of these key moments. Oklahoma got the ball back. They had to settle for 3. Prime example. Situation like this, in a game like this, you got to convert 7. You got to convert 6. You just can't settle for 3. Even still, Oklahoma stormed back. They were down 12. They outscored Ole Miss 16-3 in the third quarter. They end up taking a very slim lead. But Ole Miss gets the job done in the end. I credit what Ole Miss did on defense. Oklahoma, you look at their box score, 359 yards, 141 on 2 pass plays, or 2 long plays, I guess, 1 long pass play, 1 running play. John Mateer was sort of held in check. He wasn't able to kill them with his legs, which I think was a real possibility in this game coming into it. It was something that we had talked a lot about, but John Mateer was held mostly in check as a runner. John Mateer also held himself in check a little bit, right? John Mateer had an opportunity late to check down, to take an easy 4th and 5 conversion, decides he's going to try and throw one down the sidelines. Incomplete. That's the ball game. So I credit Ole Miss what they did on defense. Defense was not necessarily what we expected a whole lot from their side of coming into this one, but lo and behold, they got the job done and held Oklahoma pretty well in check. I think they deserve most of the credit. They've got a very workable schedule in front of them now the rest of the way. There are teams in front of them that are going to lose. I think with a little bit of help, they could end up in the SEC title game. With a little bit of luck, they could avoid the SEC title game altogether and still get into the playoff. But it looks really good if you're an Ole Miss fan. On the Oklahoma side, this was another game against a Power 4 opponent where you don't score more than 26 points. Their schedule the rest of the way is 4 teams that were ranked at the start of this week. They're at Tennessee. They're at Bama. They've got Mizzou and LSU at home. I mentioned this a moment ago, but a 7-5 season or playing for a 7-5 season against LSU to close out the year, that's very much on the table. So I think a disappointing performance for Oklahoma. But if you're an Ole Miss fan, this was a big win to go into Norman. Again, the first one for Lane Kiffin as a coach of Ole Miss, a win over a ranked opponent on the road.